Hi, everyone. I am meteorologist Anthony J, and thanks for tuning to my new YouTube channel. And I'm giving folks an update on a Mexican hurricane threat that is imminent now, unfortunately, for the southern Pacific coast of Mexico. It's called right now Tropical Storm Erick, and it has recently formed and it is strengthening as I speak. And there is a map of the Pacific Ocean and parts of central Mexico and the southern United States. The tropical storm is over here, so Tropical Storm Erick. It has been busy off the coast of Mexico, but this storm is actually going to hit Mexico. Whereas a lot of storms this time of year tend to just go out to sea, but we do have a hurricane threat here to talk about. Here's the satellite, the infrared satellite showing this is the tropical storm here. We're getting some showers, some just peripheral effects along the areas of this part of Mexico, all the way to the almost to Acapulco now, but no strong winds or anything really yet. It's tomorrow the storm is going to approach the coast and become a hurricane, and we have hurricane warnings in effect. Here's a quick look at the satellite, tight satellite earlier Tuesday. You can see the storm is tightening up. It's got a lot of convection, and the infrared satellite, colorized, shows the deeper colors are more intense thunderstorms, and we are seeing a trend towards strengthening. So if you watch this a little bit later, know that it is going to be continue on an upward trend. This was the update from the National Hurricane Center as of 3 o'clock Central Time, and there'll be updates about every 3 hours. Then it was just 50 miles per hour, but I'm sure it is strengthening as I talk and was moving northwest at 7 miles per hour. Not very fast, but it's expected to pick up some momentum as we head into Wednesday. The National Hurricane Center, this is their forecast discussion. I wanted to mention they are talking about the environment for the storm is of low shear, high mid-level moisture, and warm sea surface temperatures. So that could still support or should still support rapid strengthening. So this is important because a couple of years ago, if you had interest down here or if you live here, you remember Hurricane Otis. That was a devastating storm, a category 4, I believe, that hit Acapulco directly, and it intensified very quickly, very rapidly. And a lot of people, in fact, were caught off guard because of that fact. They didn't expect that a storm would intensify that quickly. Now, let me show this is a hurricane model, kind of a future tracker of the storm. This is paused at Wednesday at, what do we got here? 8 or 7 p.m. Central Time. It's still off the coast, and we still have to be wary of potential changes in the path of the storm. Another model here shows it at 8 p.m. just off the coast. And as we move through time here, it brings a hurricane inland by 7 o'clock Thursday. So it could conceivably be on shore by that time. And that's right now, I think, what I showed you, the Hurricane Center is saying landfall along the coast early Thursday morning. If the track were to shift, it could be a little bit later. But these are the forecast tracks from all the models kind of smoothed out. And you can see, unfortunately, none of these are showing it going offshore like we would want to see. So we have to prepare for a hurricane hit along this part of the Mexican coast. The conditions should begin to deteriorate on Wednesday, but in earnest Wednesday night and through Thursday. The computer models are showing this potential intensification. And right now, again, a tropical storm as of late on Tuesday afternoon. 24 hours from now, Wednesday, the models have it a Category 2 hurricane, maybe making it to Category 3. So we're going to have to be wary of that. It doesn't look likely to get higher than that. That's at least some good news. But at least to a Category 2. So that can certainly do a lot of damage. You can see, again, this was the latest path, and it's not going to shift much during the evening and tonight. But we'll watch it tomorrow. Watch it closely. It could shift a little to the left, maybe a little bit to the right. But right now, that is where it is headed. And the hurricane warnings in effect right now include the city of Acapulco and some other towns that are on the coastline. Zoomed in more, I created this image on Google Earth, and there's Acapulco right now, practically in the center of the forecast cone. There's another town, city here called Puerto Escondido. If you're in that area, you also have to be very wary of this storm path. But anywhere in this zone is where we're going to see the worst amount of damage. Now, eventually, this storm will move inland on Thursday and weekend. The hurricane will hit the mountains and just the winds will fall apart, but the heavy rain will last and affect this area of Mexico. Now, I know there people have interest farther west. If you are in the Baja up here, see around Cabo San Lucas, don't expect any effects of a significance at all. Puerto Vallarta is over here. You might get some rain, peripheral effects, but no major damage expected. It's as you go down the coast towards Acapulco and places probably a little bit to the east that we're going to see the greatest impacts. So again, hurricane warnings are up now for that portion of the Mexican coast, and the storm will get worse as we go in through later tomorrow. Now, here's another depiction on social media. Someone posted here another model depiction of the hurricane strengthening potentially very rapidly. So we have to be prepared that while the forecast brings it up to about category 2, it could be category 3, or we don't think 4, but it could get close to that. So we have to prepare for that possibility. Right now, more likely category 2, category 3. So if you're in this area, if you need to make preparations and you haven't yet, you need to do it now because the storm is going to be there now in less than 48 hours, maybe within about 36 hours. And that's the worst part of the storm. Conditions will start to go downhill with rain and increasing winds as we head through the day on Wednesday. Here's just some items from Google News, and you can see it's starting to make headlines now. Fox Weather, Weather Channel, and so on. We are seeing lots of stories here about and the storm potentially also brings some heavy rain later to Texas, but the biggest threat right now is here in Mexico, and it could become our strongest hurricane certainly of the year because this season is so young. Now, here's a look at a graphic for you. Now, keep in mind, I don't speak Spanish, so I do have a Spanish version of this, so just bear me with that. But if you are in the Acapulco area, I picked this city because it's the largest city and it's most directly in the path of the storm. Here's what to expect: the waves in the ocean, the tides will slowly increase tomorrow, and then we'll see strong winds and heavy showers arrive in earnest during the nighttime Wednesday night. And then the worst wind and rain looks to be on Thursday. So if it follows the path that it is now, Thursday morning will be the worst of it. If it's a little farther offshore, a little slower, that the worst conditions will last later through Thursday. So that's the time you have to watch really carefully. And then by Friday, we'll see slow improvement. There will be flooding going on in inland Mexico with all that heavy rain as the storm moves by up there as well. So I'll leave you here also with an Espanol version that I translated here. Apologies if the translation isn't perfect, but the best that we could do here. Again, so be very, very careful in the areas that this storm is headed to. So we don't want to see a repeat of what happened with Hurricane Otis 2 years ago, when a lot of folks were caught a little bit off guard and were not prepared for a very intense hurricane. So keep that in mind. Listen to the updates, listen to the warnings, and be safe out there because this could be a pretty bad storm for this area. And I'll have another update coming up